and said the last day would not come, and then he mentioned 10 signs. This hadith has been preserved in the Sahih of Imam Bukhari. It has been preserved in the Sahih of Imam Muslim. It is muttafaqun alayh. What are those 10 signs? Number 1, Dajjal, the false Messiah, or the Antichrist. Number 2, Gog and Magog. Number 3, Dukhan, smoke, the environmental pollution which is causing the earth itself to die. Number 4, Dabbatul Ard, a beast or a creature of the Ard. Ard can mean earth. Ard can also mean land or territory. But when Ard is used in terms of the last day, it invariably refers to Al-Ardul Muqaddasa, the Holy Land. And so my interpretation, and Allah knows best, is that the beast of the land or the beast of the earth is actually the beast which will emerge in the Holy Land. And everybody could see that beast today. The unholy state of Israel. Number 6, that the sun would rise from the west. That was number 5. Number 6, 7, 8. 3 khas. 3 movements of the earth in which the earth sinks down. So these are massive earthquakes. And when the earth sinks down, it swallows what it swallows. The first one will be in the east. The second one will be in the west, and that is east of Medina and west of Medina. And the third and last one will be in Arabia. And that third one, when it does occur, will confirm this is the Imam al-Mahdi, who will lead the army which will liberate the Holy Land. And then there is number 10, and that is that a fire will come out of Yemen and drive mankind to their place of assembly. So it is within the framework of these 10 major signs that we look for an explanation of Gog and Magog. I have a book entitled Jerusalem in the Quran, and that book has a chapter, Jerusalem in the Quran. There's a chapter in this book which deals with Gog and Magog. There's another chapter in this book which deals with Dajjal, the false Messiah. And this book basically deals with explaining the subject of the return of the Jews to the Holy Land to reclaim it as their own. It basically deals with what lies ahead of us in the world. What is the destiny of Jerusalem and the Holy Land? I recommend this book to be read. When Gog and Magog are released into the world, Suratul Kahf of the Quran initiates the subject to explain it. Suratul Kahf is surah number 18 of the Quran, entitled The Cave. In fact, right here in my native island of Trinidad, I have been working for the last year and a half to write a book on this subject entitled Suratul Kahf and the Modern Age. It is Suratul Kahf which introduced us to Zulkarnain, someone who possessed faith in Allah, but who had power, a power which could not be resisted by any force in the world. He's like a superpower. And Surah Al-Kahf explains to us 2 journeys which he made, one to the east, one to the west. The one to the west came first, and then came the one to the east. And then he made a third journey, and it was most probably north. Wherever he went, Zulkarnain had the power to impose his authority anywhere. And the Quran gave us very interesting information. When power rests on the foundations of faith, as in Zulkarnain, power is used to punish the oppressor. Did you hear that? That when power rests on the foundations of faith, faith in what? Not the American Constitution, faith in Allah. Then power is used to punish the oppressor. And then when power was used to punish the oppressor, Surah Al-Kahf explains that power now goes on to assist those who have faith in Allah and whose conduct is righteous. And this was called the rule of Zulkarnain. Then Zulkarnain traveled to the east, and there he met a people who were living in a subsistence economy. They don't know where tomorrow's food is going to come. When people are living in such poverty, living a primitive way of life, when power rests on the foundations of faith, how will you relate to such people? Zulkarnain had the compassion, the good sense, the integrity not to disturb their way of life. And then Zulkarnain traveled in a third direction and came upon a pass between two mountains. And there he came across a people who said to him, O Zulkarnain, Inna Ya'juj wa Ma'juj mufsiduna fil ard. Gog and Magog, these two tribes of people, are committing havoc in the land. They are terrorizing the people. They're using power to oppress, to punish. Can you help us? Can you build a barrier to protect us from these people who have the hearts of beasts? We're prepared to pay you. Zulkarnain says, what my Lord has given to me is more valuable. I don't need your money. He says, just help me with manpower. Bring me blocks of iron. And he built a barrier. And then he said, now build a fire, blow with your bellows. And then he took molten copper and poured it over that iron wall which he had built. When he built it, then Gog and Magog could no longer penetrate the barrier or scale it. Zulkarnain then said, هَذَا رَحْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. This barrier is an act of kindness from my Lord. فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي. But when that time comes of which my Lord has warned, namely the last age with the 10 signs, جَعَلَهُ دَكَّاءَ. Allah is going to bring down the barrier. And when He does that, Gog and Magog are going to be released. That's the origin of the story of Gog and Magog. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ informed us that Gog and Magog were actually released into the world in his lifetime. And so we've been living in the world of Gog and Magog since that time. But they grow and they escalate their oppression, every age becoming more corrupted than the last one, every age having more oppression than the last one, until we reach the present age. How do they do it? Firstly, their indestructible power. You have to look for a people who will eventually control the world and who have an indestructible power and who bring the Jews back to the Holy Land and make possible the restoration of a state of Israel in the Holy Land. Who are they? Muhammad, that is the easiest question you will ever be asked. It is the white world order. It is a Europe which used to be Christian and was then mysteriously transformed into an essentially godless people. When Gog and Magog are released, and now we've identified them, European modern Western civilization, then said the Prophet ﷺ, none of them dies without leaving 1,000 more behind. Oh, I would be delighted if I can train 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 young men, train them, impart to them the knowledge I got from my blessed teacher Maulana Fadlur Rahman Ansari rahimahullah, and get them to commit themselves to continue the work that I am doing now in a very humble way. I would be happy with 5. But he said about Gog and Magog, none of them dies without leaving 1,000 more behind. 1,000 more to continue the work that they are doing in oppressing mankind, in corrupting everything. This is called globalization. It's bringing the whole world together, but it is corrupting the whole world. When Gog and Magog took control of the world, they then proceeded to bring all of mankind together in one global society. And we are now today sitting at a moment in time when that process is far advanced. Anywhere you go in the world today is the same food. McDonald's hamburgers and Kentucky Fried Chicken. Anywhere you go in the world today, you see people in the same blue jeans. Anywhere you go in the world today, people have the same sicknesses. Hypertension, heart problem. Anywhere you go in the world today, people dying for the same reasons, same causes. Oh yes. And so one global society is emerging under the impact of modern European Western civilization that we can identify as the civilization of Gog and Magog. Is this the only actor at work in the world today? No. The Quran and the Prophet, Allah's blessings be upon him, directed our attention to another actor as powerful as Gog and Magog. Who is he? He is Dajjal, the false Messiah or the Antichrist. Why is he known as the false Messiah? Simple. Because his mission is to impersonate the true Messiah. The true Messiah was the son of Mary, Nabi Isa alayhi salam, Jesus. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. When Allah sent him, he was sent as the true Messiah with a mission to rule the world from Jerusalem, from holy Israel. But when Allah sent him, and the Jews were waiting for him to come, because they knew when he came, they, the Jews, will rule the world one more time. The golden age will come back. When Allah sent him, some of them accepted him. فَآمَنَ طَائِفَةٌ مِّن بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ. But the majority, the rabbis, rejected him. No, you cannot be the Messiah. Why not? Number one, they said, he's a bastard, and we seek Allah's protection from such nastiness. He's a bastard, and a bastard cannot be the Messiah. Oh, now I understand. Allah tested them with this virgin girl.